Jonathan Gibbs, Door to Door, Con 6. I'm here with Chris Hofstra and Lead Scout. He's an exhibitor here, and he's got a really cool piece of software to help sales management and sales business intelligence. Chris, tell us about your product and what kind of differentiates it to the other products in the market right now.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So Lead Scout is a mobile canvassing tool that also does targeted direct mail. It's built into the fiber of what we're doing. So when your salespeople are out there in the field, canvassing, meeting with homeowners, based on the interactions they have at the home, that can trigger a direct mail campaign, and we can set those campaigns, program them to be 6 postcards over 6 months, whatever you want, right? So it's really marketing and canvassing on one platform.
I like it's really interesting. So I've actually got a big background in direct mail, and what a lot of people don't realize is that there's less mail today really than ever. And so even in millennials, even in the younger generation, they perceive what they get in the mail as a high level of trust.
Yes.
So the direct response for mail is actually extremely high. It's actually higher today than it was 10 years ago. So this is really interesting. So let me see how I can repeat this back to you. So not only like the other popular tools, not only can I keep track of my leads and update my leads, tag my houses, plan routes and things like that, but if I have a customer, I can send a referral piece of email out, piece of mail, direct piece of mail to their house. If I have a customer that's really close, I can send a follow-up. And I've seen these things. They're just really effective where I get a direct piece of mail to my house that says your neighbor just went solar.
Yep.
And it has the neighbor's house with solar on it. And because it's so personalized, it's really engaging.
Yep. We even do handwritten notes. So we have a vendor that does that with robots. So we can just take the information that you're doing in the app and just trigger a handwritten note. So
how long is it? What's the pricing model? So if I have a new company and maybe I've just started my own sales dealership and I have a limited budget, what's the bare minimum? Like, how can I get started with you?
Yeah. So it's a minimum $200 a month.
Okay.
Unlimited users.
Wow. So if I have like 20 reps.
So before you get too excited,
okay,
what that gives you is 500 owner-occupied homes, addresses.
Yeah.
So we look at it in terms of usage.
Yeah.
Not users.
Got it.
Right now. Now we just launched this year. So we're kind of still trying to iron out, like, how do we fit in this space? There's a lot of canvassing tools.
It was pretty low barrier to entry for a couple
very
$100.
low barrier to entry. And the way I wanted to come to this because I wanted to break into the true door-to-door salesperson.
Yeah.
Our customer base has really been retail contractors that are not knocking doors.
Okay, interesting.
So I want to kind of speak on this a little bit because it definitely sets apart what we're doing from a traditional door-to-door canvassing tool. So if you have Job Nimbus, let's say, we were just at Job Nimbus's headquarters for the One Industry One model.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jen Silver, got to do that. When you create a lead, if you're giving your retail salesperson a lead at 123 Main Street, it can automatically trigger a list of, say, 15 owner-occupied homes right around that lead. Well, when that salesperson's get done running the lead, what's the best thing for him or her to do? Is it to get back in the truck and leave? No,
it's always to talk to the closest.
It's to do the cloverleaf thing, right? But the problem
100%.
is when we tell guys do the cloverleaf thing, like, okay, and then they don't do it. But if you give them a list of 15 owner-occupied homes around that lead and you get them a mobile app and be like, I expect you to do it and I can actually track what you're doing. And oh, by the way, Jimmy, when you do that, the houses that are good candidates, we're going to send marketing to them too. We're going to reinvest in that little neighborhood so that we can drive another lead out of there.
What's the learning curve? Because, as I'm a salesperson, I managed sales teams for 25 years. And, one of the things that salespeople hate is change, right? And especially software. Like they spend time learning something new and they feel like invested. How long does it realistically take? If I walk over to the booth, I give you my email address, I get an account, how long does it take for people to feel like they can navigate your software?
Great question. So this is where it's a double-edged sword. It's so easy and so simple. The other side is it doesn't offer enough. So a lot of guys will say, well, I've used, Spotio or Sales Rabbit. They do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Do you do that? No, we don't. Right? So in some ways, I would say, well, do you actually use all those tools, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on those guys.
No, it's fair. Some organizations do, some don't.
Yeah. So what we say is, listen, it's really simple. Do they need your services or not? And if they do, why? So create a tag, right? So thumbs up, tag. If you want to take a note, you can take some notes, and that's it.
I actually think that's one of the things that's
very easy to adopt.
Yeah, I actually think that's one of the beautiful things about software. And one of the cool things about this event is you could come here and there are 3 or 4 choices for that software right here. And you could leave here with all 4 accounts, and you could test all 4 accounts and really find the one that fits your sales culture, your needs at the moment. And that's kind of like a
100%.
great testament to Sam, and really what he's put
Absolutely.
is, an environment where you can try things and find what fits for you.
Well, and thanks to Sam and just being able to be here, we're doing a 3-month full access free. So if anybody's listening and wants to sign up and give it a try, and to your point, Jonathan, see if it's a good fit for you, just sign up. I'll give you 3 months, unlimited users.
There you
just
go.
give it to some guys. I mean, don't invite your entire team, because just give it to some guys.
Try it with the new team.
Try it with a new team and say, let me know if this is enough, right?
Yeah.
Can this service what we need?
I love it.
And if it does, it's $200 a month.
All right, let's pivot really hard, because a lot of the audience here are salesmen and women. They really see themselves as their own entrepreneurs, right? Because like they're the leader in their business, even if they're working for a company, right? Like it's their time, it's their message. You're building a company, you're building a software company. It's going through a lot of growth. What are some new things that you're doing here in 2023 to become more successul? Is there new something you're starting, or something you're trying to stop, a habit you're trying to start or break? What
Yeah.
does this year look like for you personally?
It's pretty easy for me to answer that, because we're in still the very early startup phases. There's
Yeah.
a lot of very clear things that we have to incorporate into our mobile app.
Tell us about one of them.
So we talked about tags, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have some type of interaction with that tag, right? And what does it do with your CRM? And if you don't have a CRM, then when you have a certain tag like return later, right? Interested, but said come back. Well, what do you do next, right? Like, do they just have to remember that one, or do they get a notification, right? Do they get an email,
Yeah.
right? So there's these things that we need to, these basic building blocks I think we have to have. So I think, but for me to answer your question, I think holistically, we just need to do a better job of listening to the contractors, listening to our users, and building according to that. I think it's easy for us to get ideas and sit around in a vacuum and be like,
Yeah.
oh, that would be sweet. That would be sweet.
So one of your missions and purposes for this year is more customer feedback.
More customer feedback and more customers using it. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to just kind of give it away
Yeah.
for everybody here at D2D, because we want this community to test our metal. Like,
Help build it.
I want to know, like, break it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm not scared. So we do all the coding in house. We don't sub it out overseas or anything. So we control our code base, and I would stack our tech stack up to anybody.
That's really interesting. How did let me make it personal for a second. Do you have any personal goals for this year? Are there habits you're trying to create or stop in the new year?
Yeah. I'm a father of 3.
Okay.
Married 15 years last year.
Yeah, congratulations.
And I think balance has been a challenge for me in my life in the last few years, trying to grow this business.
Yeah, I think that's for everybody. So share us one thing that has helped you maintain or create balance in your life.
Thanks. Well, as a believer, I'm a Christian. Even though I believe Jesus is real and that, he died on the cross for my sins, and I have life because of him, I have hope because of him, that doesn't mean that I'm not distracted and I'm not pulled away into the world and like money and fame and success and whatever, like just feeling good for, whatever. And so I've had to kind of recenter myself, and I'm really glad you asked that question, Jonathan, because I think we all have new goals. I mean, it's a great question to ask right now in January, right? Whether it's working out or whatever. But for me, it was starting my morning off at 5:45, walking for 2 miles. So I walk, and I just have time to pray. I have time to think about my team. I have time to think about my kids, my family. What's the bigger mission? Like my why, right? Is it just to like get more users and make more money? Like, that's fun, but it's just not rewarding. Like you've built a very successful business, and I bet you if we were interviewing you, and I don't, if you want to share, go ahead, but like there's things that are so much deeper and more meaningful beyond that. I mean, when they asked Tom Brady in 60 Minutes after he won 4 Super Bowls, like what was that like? And he was like, I just feel like there's got to be something else. Yeah. Like he literally you could see it in his face, like it didn't do anything for him. Yeah. Right? Married Giselle, had all the money, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 4 Super Bowls. The guy's got, what, like 9 now? I guarantee you it's not enough. Yeah. So what is it? And for me, it's like starting the morning out, centering myself, whatever your faith is, around something bigger than yourself. And for me, it's the fact that Jesus actually came to this earth and died for my sins. And I need to understand that I'm a little teeny piece in his plan. And how can I go and make other people's lives better and think beyond just more users and more money?
That's good. Starting in the morning, centering your mind with a walk. There's actually a lot of science on that, which is why Apple built a big walking track and actually has walking meetings around their new space in Silicon Valley. Definitely experienced that myself, going through really hard seasons, that walking, the monotony and slow pace actually slows down your heart rate, actually clears your mind. Most of us can think more clear during a mild pace walk. That's amazing. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Come check it out.
Yeah, leadscoutapp.com.
There it is.
For your first 3 months are free if you sign up, but you got to sign up while we got our booth, right? So that's the key. If you don't, whatever, but just give us a call. We'll get you in, test it out.
One of the many benefits of coming to Door Con is the spirit of collaboration. They want to collaborate with the sales orgs, install orgs in this space, get your feedback so they can develop a product that you want and you need. Thanks a lot for coming by. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sam.